Dear students, today in this session we are going to consider the language components based on the poem We Are the TSB Banking Directors written by Darrell Ashton. In the previous sessions regarding this poem we had seen introduction to Darrell Ashton, analysis of the poem We Are the TSB Banking Directors, and annotations and short questions based on this poem. So today the session will be on the language components. We will start with the language components. To begin with, we have punctuation. Now under language components, there are 5 topics which are prescribed to you under the University of Mysore. The first one is punctuation. Second one is framing questions. Third one is use of negatives. Fourth one is linkers. And the last one is comprehension passage. Now when it comes to punctuation, you are supposed to bear in mind the most commonly used punctuation marks. Now which are those commonly used punctuation marks? One is capital letter, then full stop, comma, inverted commas. It can be either single inverted commas or double inverted commas, question mark and an exclamatory mark. There are many more punctuation marks, but you need to keep in mind the most commonly used ones and then look for the sentence where you can fill in the appropriate punctuation marks. Now we'll see the sentence which is given here. If you have the textbook with you, the sentences are there printed. The same sentences are picked up here. The first sentence, the teacher said Dr. Ambedkar was a voracious reader and had an insatiable thirst for books. Now, if you observe the sentence, there are no punctuation marks used here. So, let me explain which punctuation marks have been used here and why they are used. The teacher said in this particular part, the T becomes capital because it's the beginning of the sentence. Beginning of any sentence, the letter should be capital. Now the teacher said Dr. Ambedkar was a voracious reader and had an insatiable thirst for books. It looks like a direct speech. The speech of a teacher. Now whatever is spoken by the teacher, those words or that particular sentence should be put in the inverted commas. Now that's how the answer is. The teacher said comma and inverted commas start. And in Dr. Ambedkar, D should be capital and after DR, a dot should be kept because DR is a short form of doctor. So wherever there is a short form, the abbreviation, a dot should be kept, which is an indication that it has an expansion. Now after that, Ambedkar, A capital because it's a proper noun. Ambedkar was a voracious reader and had an insatiable thirst for books. After the word books, you're going to put a full stop as the end of the sentence and then close inverted commas. So this is how you need to consider the punctuation marks. Now in the second sentence, the professor replied, of course a teacher learns until his death. Now in this sentence also, you don't see many punctuation marks at all. So the answer goes this way. The professor, T capital and P capital. T is capital because it's the beginning of the sentence. P becomes capital because it's a noun. It's a proper noun. Professor replied, comma, of course a teacher learns until his death. So this also looks like a direct speech. So you're going to use inverted commas. After of course, you put a comma because there is a pause when you read the sentence. Whenever you pause in a sentence, to show that pause, you put a comma. And at the end of the sentence, you put a full stop. And at the end, you close the double inverted commas. Now when we move on to the third sentence, the father asked, Why aren't you doing your homework, Suresh? So this is also a similar sentence where you have direct speech. The father asked, the T capital, and asked, comma, and why aren't you doing your homework, Suresh? Inverted commas starts. Why aren't you doing your homework, Suresh? Suresh, S capital, and a question mark. S is capital for Suresh because it's a proper noun, and double inverted commas will be closed at the end. Moving to the next sentence, what a beautiful flower the rose is. Here you find a different set of sentences. What, W capital, because it's a beginning of the sentence. What a beautiful flower the rose is. Rose, R capital, because it's a proper noun. And at the end of the sentence, you give an exclamatory mark because it is an exclamatory sentence. It's an appreciation which you can see. What a beautiful flower the rose is. Though it starts with a WH word, it is not a question, it is an exclamatory sentence. It has the word order that of a statement and not of a question. That's why you don't put a question mark but an exclamatory mark. An old woman asked, will you please help me cross the road? Is the next sentence. An old woman, an, A capital, as it is the beginning of the sentence. This sentence also looks like a direct speech. So you are going to use double inverted commas and it's a question. So question mark. An old woman asked. After asked, a comma should be given. I am sorry that comma is missing here, but you are supposed to put a comma there and give the sentence. So this is about the punctuation marks. Now moving to the next category, framing questions. Now when you have to frame questions, you need to keep in mind two kinds of questions. One is WH questions, the second one is yes no questions. When you have the sentence with the underlined words and if the instruction is frame a question to get the underlined words as the answer, you are supposed to frame WH question. What is WH question? A question which starts with WH word. So look at this sentence. The students like to celebrate ethnic day. What do the students like? Is the question. And the second one, the children love playing in the rain. Again, you are supposed to frame a WH question. Who love playing in the rain? Now, when you are framing questions, keep in mind that the tense should be the same as given in the sentence. Now, the third sentence, the principal took class for 2 hours. How long did the principal take class? Now the fourth one, yes, I can swim. Now you are going to change the category of the question. Convert into yes, no question. So instruction is very clear. So if you reverse the word order, you get the yes, no question. I can swim. If you change it to can I swim, you get the answer. Now look at the next one. Yes, fifth sentence is no, it was not a holiday. Again, convert into yes, no question. You reverse the order, you get the answer. It was not a holiday. If you change it, the word order, if it is changed, was it not a holiday? And a question mark, you get the yes, no question. Now, when you are framing yes, no questions, the idea that you need to have is every yes, no question will start either with a be verb or a have verb or a do verb or a modal. All these are helping verbs. They function as helping verbs also. So which are the verbs which function as helping verbs? Be verbs, have verbs, do verbs and modals. 4 kinds. So these four kinds can function as helping verbs also. So yes, no questions always will start with a helping verb. Now moving on, the next category of grammar, next topic is the use of negatives. The moment you see the word negative, the word not, never or no should come to your mind. Now if a sentence which is negative is given to you, if you have to change it to positive, remove the word not. If a positive sentence is given to you and if the instruction is you have to make it negative, add the word not. That is the logic behind this. Now the first sentence, the grocery store does not sell processed food. Convert into an affirmative sentence. Affirmative sentence is also a kind of positive sentence. So the word not should be removed and the answer should be given. The grocery store sells processed food. The second one, can you play football? If you have to make it negative, add the word not. That's all. Can't you play football? Now third one, Raghav can't sing melodiously. Convert into affirmative. So to change it to affirmative, remove the word not and give it as it is. Raghav can sing melodiously. Fourth sentence, don't you work hard for your exams? Convert into affirmative. Remove the word not and give the answer. Do you work hard for your exams? Now fifth one, do you celebrate Diwali? Convert into negative. So to make it negative, what do? You add the word not and give the answer. Don't you celebrate Diwali? So this is how the use of negatives to be considered. Now the next topic is linkers. Linkers is another name for conjunctions. Now you might have studied conjunctions in your high school or at your PUC level. The same thing, it's going to be a kind of revision for you. Sentences will be given with a blank and the choices of linkers will be given after the sentences. You will have to pick the right linker and place it in the correct blank. You don't have to think what to give by yourself. Choices will be there. Pick it and fill it. The first one, Swati is clever but lazy. If there is no rain, the crops will fail. Unless you work hard, you will not succeed. Swati and Suma are cousins. Though he is a physician, he does not help his neighbors when they are sick. So while filling the blanks with the linkers, the only thing that you need to focus on is the meanings of the linkers. If you know the meanings of the linkers, it's easier for you to pick the right linker and place it at the right place. Now moving ahead, the last topic that you have is comprehension passage. A passage will be given to you to comprehend. What do you mean by comprehend? Read, understand and analyze. Now a passage will be given to you and after the passage a few questions will follow. Based on the passage you need to answer those questions. The passage is given here. It's there in the textbook. On an unknown island, Prospero and Miranda lived in a cave or cell made out of a rock. It was divided into several apartments, in one of which Prospero kept his books of magic, a study at which at that time much affected by all learned men, and the knowledge of this art he found very useful. This island was enchanted by a witch called Sycorax, who died a short time before Prospero's arrival. Prospero, by virtue of his art, released many good spirits that Sycorax had imprisoned in the bodies of large trees because they had refused to execute her wicked commands. These gentle spirits were ever after obedient to the will of Prospero. Of these, Ariel was the chief. Now this is a passage given to you. Now based on this passage, these are the questions. The knowledge of which art does Prospero find useful? The knowledge of magic was the art that Prospero found to be useful is the answer. Now when you see the questions, you can see two kinds of questions. One can be referential, the other one can be inferential. Referential questions are those for which you can find the answer directly in the passage. You can literally pick the sentence from the passage and give it as an answer. Inferential questions, you have to understand the passage and frame your own answer. You can't pick any sentence from the passage directly. Such questions are inferential questions. So we will see how many questions are referential and how many are inferential in this particular section. The first question you might have observed, it is a referential question because the answer is one of the sentences in the passage. Now, where do Prospero and Miranda live? In a cave or a cell. This is also a referential question. Answer is directly taken from the passage. Who inhabited the island before Prospero's arrival? The answer is Sycorax. This is also referential. Now the next one, what is the meaning of the word witch? The answer is witch means a woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones, popularly depicted as wearing a black cloak and pointed hat and flying on a broomstick. Now this kind of question is called inferential question because the answer is not found directly in the passage. You need to understand the passage and frame your own answer. Now the fifth one, why did Sycorax imprison many of the good spirits? Answer is Sycorax imprisoned many of the good spirits because they had refused to execute her wicked commands. So this question becomes a referential question as the answer can be directly seen in the passage. So these are all the language components which are given in the textbook. Now the same order of language components will be maintained in the question papers as well. So you need to be precise. You can't guess the answers and give the answers here in grammar section. Language components is like mathematics. You give correct answer and you get full marks. So language components, which is for 20 marks in the question paper, can fetch you 20 on 20 if your grammar is strong. I hope you have understood the explanation of the different language components. Through good practice, you can get hold or get some kind of confidence in answering the language components. Thank you very much.